Hello my friends. Australia is known as one of the world's leading agricultural producers. In this success, there is a significant contribution from the livestock industry. In today's video, let's find out how the cattle farming industry in Australia developed. The total area of Australia is about 2.9 million acres. However, Australia's agricultural land area only accounts for 1% of the total, of which 1/3 is used to grow food and up to 2/3 is grasslands. Will this huge amount of grasslands become a weakness for Australian agriculture? The answer is no. Australian farmers have been taking advantage of those grasslands to raise livestock. Because Australia has a territory spanning many different climate belts, there is an allocation of livestock breeds to each specific region. This solution ensures that livestock breeds meet natural conditions and have good growth and development. From temperate regions like the arid grasslands of Australia, we easily see images of sheep like this. They are common in areas such as New South Wales, Victoria, South Australia, and Western Australia. The reason sheep are loved by farmers in Australia is because they are adaptable to weather conditions. The size of the sheep herd on each farm often changes regularly to accommodate changes in weather conditions, fluctuations in wool prices, and profitability. Farmers often liken them to machines that convert grass into meat and wool. You see, this thinking is completely reasonable when the economic value that sheep brings is so great. Currently, Australia is the largest wool producing country in the world, accounting for about 32% of the world's total wool production. Say goodbye to sheep for wool. Let's go to the farm in Southeast Australia. This is the home to more than 740 sheep. Here, they will be fed on improved pastures or raised on crop farms. This is a sheep's close friend in the fields. They are intelligent, agile, alert, and highly protective of their territory. That's why farmers use herding dogs to protect their sheep throughout this journey. In addition to supplementing quality pellets and hay, farmers also utilize agricultural products on the farm, such as cornflakes, as weaning food for sheep. A sheep farmer with 9 years of experience shared that the way they saved about 1/3 of the total food costs for each flock. Before your eyes is an image of a lamb processing plant with automated technology in JBS Bordertown. Previously, lamb was just a small niche in the livestock sector. It now really creates a big potential market for Australian farmers. They surpass all competitors with strict animal welfare regulations, controls, and traceability for all livestock exports. That is also the reason why the quality of lamb in Australia is always considered the best in the world. Currently, about 1/3 of Australian sheep meat production is exported to the US and major markets including the Middle East, the European Union, and China. Say goodbye to the sheep. Now let's go to the goat farms in Southern Australia. Australia produces about 28,400 tonnes of goats in 2022. However, 80% of the production will be exported to overseas market because this meat is not a popular choice for Australian consumers. They can be raised freely or in captivity, depending on the economic conditions of the farm. Compared to other types of livestock, goats do not take up much space. You can keep up to 7 goats in the same area that you need for 1 cow. Besides this, goats do not need much medical care, and they can eat sheep food and still grow healthily. That is why the cost of raising goats is always lower than the cost of raising other types of livestock, such as sheep or beef cattle. These baby goats will drink mother's milk for at least 6 weeks before switching to mixed feed to avoid digestive problems. This farmer is mixing feed for goats. This mixture usually includes forage, barley and pellets at a rate of 1/3 of a pound per day for the young goats and 1/2 pound for adult goats to increase growth. In addition, they will eat more grass as an additional meal on grazing areas. You see, unlike cows, goats are very active animals. They can jump and scale fences as a way of playing. Therefore, both indoor and outdoor barns need to prepare sturdy fences, at least 3 feet high. Victoria and Queensland are the leaders in goat meat production and slaughter in Australia. In addition to the 2 states mentioned before, farmers in South Australia have also tended to increase goat meat production in the past 2 years. Livestock facilities are often located near agricultural production in the area. This allows farmers to not spend too much on transportation costs. The largest breeding facility in Australia is located in southern Queensland and can feed up to 75,000 animals at any given time. Australia's total cattle herd is currently about 29.3 million heads. The livestock industry in this country creates jobs for about 258,000 workers throughout the chain, from livestock farming to processing and retail. Not only is it strong in sheep and goat farming, Australia also produces 4% of global beef output and accounts for about 16% of world trade. The major markets for this product are usually China, Japan, the United States, Korea, and Indonesia. Now we come to Queensland, which accounts for 46% of Australia's total cattle population. Grasslands are where the production system begins. They spend at least 1/3 of the day in the grasslands. This process is where beef cattle convert food into body weight, and then later into the cuts of beef we love to see on the supermarket shelves. The main strength of the Australian beef industry is its green and clean, disease-free image. The application of modern technology has helped Australia improve access to many markets around the world. One of the applications most talked about by Queensland farmers is virtual fences. Thanks to this application, cattle are grazed in a controlled manner based on sound signals and sensors. In addition, each beef cow will be given an identifying ear tag when they are young. NLIS can track their progress through the National Livestock Identification System. At the same time, they will handle it as quickly as possible if an epidemic occurs. The life cycle of beef cattle begins on the pasture and ends in the processing plant. Here, beef is processed and cut according to the safest procedures. The product is then carefully packaged and frozen at -30 degrees Celsius before being ready to be brought to consumers. Today's trip to explore farms gave us a different perspective on the livestock industry in Australia. Although natural conditions are not favourable for agricultural development, with all the efforts to combine science and technology, Australia has become one of the leading agricultural countries in the world. Hello my friends. Beef is the most nutritious and popular food source in the world. But have you ever wondered about the journey of beef cows before they appear on the dinner table? In today's video, we come to the United States, the world's largest beef cattle producing country, to explore how farmers raise millions of beef cattle. The United States owns the third largest beef herd in the world, behind two countries, Brazil and India. With 94.5 million head, this impressive number helps the US cattle herd provide the highest meat output in the world, about 11.9 million tonnes a year. The states with the largest beef cattle production areas in the United States are Texas, Nebraska, Iowa, Kansas, Oklahoma, Colorado, and California. According to statistics, there are more than 80 breeds of beef cattle raised in the United States. Among them, Angus is the most popular beef breed. They are popular because of their beautiful appearance, healthy constitution, and especially their meat. In addition to Angus, some other popular beef breeds are Hereford, Charolais, and Gelbvieh. The first stage of beef cattle production is reproduction and weaning. Farmers will go to auctions like this looking for quality bulls. Cows are pregnant for 9 months. After the calves are born, they are fed with their mother's milk for 6 to 10 months. At a beef farm in West Texas, calves still need protection from their mothers for the first 15 months of their lives. In addition to drinking milk, farmers will let them eat like this to get used to the pasture. At the grazing stage, beef cows spend 1/3 of their time walking around the fields eating grass every day. The grazing process not only adds nutrients to beef cattle, but also helps them to feel comfortable. This greatly supports their comprehensive development. This is the scene at a North Dakota farm. This herd of Hereford cows is far from the grazing area, so every morning they will be transported to the pasture in a truck like this. This herd of beef cattle is led to the area behind the farm. During the grazing process, farmers will stay nearby to observe and protect them from afar. The grazing area is fenced with steel wire to limit stray beef cattle and attacks by predators such as coyotes. In addition to grazing to create a comfortable space for cows to grow, agricultural land is also used by farmers to grow grass and produce grains to feed beef cattle. You see, the vast fields are a great destination for these beef cows. The image you are seeing is the traditional operation of the cattle industry in America. Beef cattle need to be branded to avoid confusion during grazing. This is the branding process on a beef farm in California. After completing ear tagging, farmers will inject drugs to prevent beef cattle from being attacked by flies or pathogens. The Charolais is the largest beef breed, weighing up to nearly 2,500 pounds. Most often, they are raised in barns to conveniently design their diet and check their health. As you can see, the barn must be clean, airy, and have enough room for the cows to live. Farmers often lay a thick layer of straw like this to absorb moisture and keep them warm at night. According to the farm owner, with more than 12 years of experience, dividing the barn in each area helps farmers easily check the number and health of the herd. You can see that all the cattle on this farm are fed in order to avoid competition that affects the quality of their meal. Rolls of hay like this are finished products obtained from the fields. Most farmers on beef farms in the US store hay for bad weather and winter. This way, farmers can ensure that their beef cattle will have truly quality meals each day. Raising animals on pasture helps them to move freely and develop naturally. However, this method requires a large area of grasslands and takes a lot of time and effort to care for. Raising in barns helps cows to reach their ideal weight in a short time. However, this method can cause beef cattle to become stressed and susceptible to disease. The final stages of the breeding process is fattening. In addition to protein-rich foods such as silage, cereals, and soybeans, beef cattle are also fed concentrated pellets to supplement other vitamins and minerals. Thanks to this diet, beef cows will grow faster quickly and reach the ideal weight for slaughter faster. When beef cattle reach a weight of 1,100 to 1,500 pounds, they are sent to a processing facility for meat production. This is the scene inside a beef processing plant in Texas. After slaughter and cleaning, the entire beef cattle body will be stored in cold storage to maintain freshness. The next step is cutting. A large block of beef goes through the cutting machine into pieces of meat small enough for packaging. These packages are ready to be transported to consumption areas. Currently, there are nearly 925 federally inspected livestock slaughter plants in the US. These plants process about 34 million beef cattle each year, and almost all American beef is sold in canned beef like this. Beef is not only for domestic consumption. Beef farms in the US also export millions of tons of beef to gourmet and demanding markets such as Canada, Mexico, Korea, and Japan. This is why beef farms need to increase productivity to serve the growing consumer demand in the world. In fact, there are more than 1.1 million beef farmers and businesses in the US. To get delicious and quality beef, American farmers have to put in a lot of effort and dedication. They've applied scientific and modern breeding processes to meet consumer needs. American beef is known and honored around the world for its freshness and high nutritional content. This quality results from strict manufacturing processes and commitment to customers. We are seeing the results coming from America's leading large farms.